Blessings, beautiful souls. Welcome to this audio meditation. As this is an audio meditation, I always say that it gives us this opportunity where there's no distractions, and I invite people who listen to audio meditations to close their eyes and to just sink in deep into themselves. And of course, you can bring your journal with you, which is great if you have anything that comes up that you want to keep track of or you want to write down. Especially with this meditation, we are going to be inviting your mind to play. So we're really going to start inviting your mind to be open and to allow thoughts to come up. So a journal is fantastic for this. And of course, bring all the other tools around you so that you're comfortable and you feel in a place where you can do some deep reflection work. So what I am going to do is we're going to start off with an introduction about the three minds, how it relates to us, and then we're going to jump into a meditation. If you listen to this meditation in future and you want to jump straight into the meditation and skip the introduction, then we have timestamps below, so you can do that in future as well. So we're going to start, as I said, with the introduction, talking about the mind. And this is something that I personally love to observe within myself, especially during these times where there's a lot going on in our mind, in our lives, in the world. We're living in such a transformational and often challenging time where things are moving so fast and everything does feel like the air element, which is the mind element. And if we talk about air and we talk about on a personal level, if you look at your chart, your astrology chart, and you notice you have a lot of air signs, or your dominant planet is Mercury, you might start to see that you're also a person who connects more with the mind. So the signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. If you have your sun, moon, or ascendant, or maybe different parts of your chart where you have a lot of Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you're the people who tend to be a lot in the mind. And this is actually a beautiful thing because our mind is a tool. Our mind is a tool, and every single thought that we have, whether it's conscious or subconscious, filters through the three functional minds that we're going to talk about today. And what are these three functional minds? Well, we can talk about the negative mind, the positive mind, and the neutral mind. These are the main three minds that we talk about in Kundalini Yoga. And throughout our day, we will be jumping maybe through one mind more than the other, or maybe we'll find ourselves on a hectic day jumping on so many different levels of the mind, whether it's negative, jumping to positive, or finding that you're neutral. And I'm going to dive in deeper into what these minds are, and you can see for yourself as you're observing yourself, and as I'm explaining this more, you can see what is coming up for you, and also which one you're relating to right now, or which one do you normally relate to when you go through your life. So let's start off with the negative mind. And even though it's called negative, I actually think that each part of our minds, the three minds, have both negative in a form of challenging aspects, but also they have a lot of positive aspects. So just because it's a negative mind, it doesn't mean that it's only going to be negative to ourselves. There's a lot of hidden treasure with the negative mind. It's also called the protective mind. And many would say it's actually geared for survival. So it's the mindset that we have when we enter a space and we're just looking out for what could go wrong. Have you ever been in those situations, or have you ever had that feeling that you're using that mindset more, where you enter space or you're on alert and looking around to see what's going on. It's a sensitive energy. It's also very reactive and protective, and it's searching for those potential dangers around us. So, in saying this, it does sound like quite a challenging energy, but on a positive note, the negative mind can also be a part of our shadow self. And I'm a big shadow worker in a way that I strongly believe that we have to dive into our shadow self in order to create transformation and to learn the lessons. So the positive thing about the negative mind is that through observing it, we can actually see patterns and subconscious behaviors that point to our shadow self and the areas that need more healing or more attention or more love or more understanding. And when we give those spaces more time and we connect more to our shadow self, we allow the healing to really happen. So if ever you find yourself in a space where you are more in the negative mind, ask yourself what parts of your shadow self is showing up for you to love and to observe and to find healing in. And I notice in other people and in myself during those times where things are very transformational and transitional and challenging, if the negative mind comes up, there is amazing room for healing. There is amazing potential for healing. So that is the negative mind, the protective mind. On the other side, we can talk about the positive mind. The positive mind is also known as the expansive mind. It has that Jupiter type of energy in astrology, everything expanding, no boundaries, just wanting to grow endlessly. The negative mind, on the other hand, tends to have more of a Saturn energy if you're into astrology. So you can see the links of each of the planets and how it works in your chart as well, and maybe you can observe if that's where your mind and the way you think is. And when we talk about the positive mind, this is a mindset where you enter a space and you're ready to be happy, and you're ready to find joy, and you're ready to find pleasure and fulfillment, and where everything feels like infinite self, almost like there are so many possibilities out there, almost as if there's no fear. Now, this sounds amazing, and this is the positive side of it, because when we have that mindset, sometimes it gives us the extra courage to take that step in order to make a decision or get out of our comfort zone. It helps us really do a lot of risk taking because it's an active energy. But think about the negative side of it, or should I say the challenging side of the positive mind. If you're constantly in your positive mind, if you're constantly in that space, a lot of the times that critical mindset might be missing. Sometimes we do need that critical mindset in order to judge things more clearly, instead of just seeing it as positive all the time. Or sometimes we do need to weigh up the dangers that are going to happen when we make decisions. Or sometimes we just need to slow down and work with our shadow self. So you can see how the negative and the positive mind really need each other in order to thrive. They need each other in order to analyze situations. And this is where the neutral mind comes in. The neutral mind is the meditative mind, and it takes both the negative and the positive minds and it judges it in a way that it weighs things out, it assesses the situation, and it's almost like an observer. It takes a step back in order to do that. And this is where I think we start to really see the bigger picture of any situation, whether it's an incredibly challenging situation or not, we start to really see the different gems and the lessons that we can learn by using our negative mind and our positive mind, and then making those decisions with both the energies in place. So I always say, if you are in a space right now in your life and you're transforming and changing like we all are, especially during these times, observe how you use your mind and try as much as possible to bring it back to the neutral mind. And you can do this through many different ways, of course. Through grounding, that's a big one. I think grounding our energy allows us to be more present. Through meditation, through so many different activities like journaling. That's another way of connecting to your neutral mind, because you're able to release, and then you're able to observe how your mind is thinking through your words on the paper. So many different ways. And we're going to jump in right now into an exercise, a meditation exercise, where we're going to focus on each of the minds. We're going to take this down on a personal level and see how you're feeling right now. So get ready to start this meditation. We're going to start with a seated position. So get into this position. Take a moment to settle into your body. And as you are in the seated position, whether it's on the floor or the chair or your bed, just make sure your spine is straight. So bring awareness to your spine, from the base of your spine all the way up to the top of your head, creating this beautiful straight line. And you might want to tuck in your chin slowly so that you can feel your spine elongating and almost being pulled up by an invisible thread up above you. So you're being supported. And if you haven't got your eyes closed already, close them. Take a moment to bring your hands to your sides, palms facing upwards, as a gesture of being open to receive. And allow any thoughts, any emotions to come up to the surface. We're just going to observe them. We're just going to allow them to speak to us. And then afterwards, I invite you to journal about this and get them out on paper. So right now in your life, as you're closing your eyes, take a moment to observe how you're feeling. Take a moment to observe how you're feeling. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. Just give it that full connection to it. If you're feeling bad, that's okay. That's fine. Open up that space for the negative emotions and the negative mind to come up. If you're feeling amazing, that's great as well. Allow all those other emotions and the positive mind to show up. Whatever you're feeling is good. And as you're connecting to yourself and how you're feeling, start to connect with your body and your breath. And just observe your breath. Is it feeling shallow and light? Is it feeling deep and slow? How's your breathing pattern right now? Again, no judgment, just observing how your body is, how your emotions are, and what your thoughts are telling you. And slowly start to deepen your breath. So start inhaling a little bit more deeply and exhaling a little bit more deeply. Try and engage your lower belly. So every time you're inhaling, you're feeling your belly expand outwards. And every time you're exhaling, you're feeling it contracting inwards. And go at your own pace. Listen to your body. And notice if any parts of your body are feeling tense at the moment. So again, bring your mind and your attention towards those spaces in your body, from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. Any parts that are feeling tense or feeling stressed or feeling tired. And if you do find any of those spaces in your physical body, then imagine that every time you're breathing in, you're connecting to those spaces, and every time you exhale, you're releasing some of that tension. So giving yourself full permission to release through your exhales and giving it love through your inhales. So when you're ready, take your mind right back to this present moment. Take your mind to anything that you can think of that happened today, even if it's early in the morning. Any moments during this day, and ask yourself, did you connect with that situation or those spaces or those people with your negative mind, your positive mind, or your neutral mind? Take a moment to bring your memories up, to observe which mindset you felt more connected to. And if you were connecting with your negative mind, ask yourself which shadow side of yourself was coming up. So maybe your shadow self emotions, or your shadow thoughts, the parts of yourself that are deep within that came up when you were connecting with your negative mind in those moments. I could say the same for your positive mind. If you were approaching or experiencing those situations with your positive mind, what expansive thoughts or emotions were coming up for you there? And how do they make you feel good? And maybe you found yourself in a neutral mindset. What lessons did you learn from that situation? Or what did you observe from that situation, whether it's through yourself or others? Keep breathing, keep observing, keep connecting to the recent memories and seeing which mind you connected to. And then I want you to take your mind even further back, maybe to recent months that have happened. And I want you to pick something that happened recently, in the last couple of months or even the last couple of weeks, that you remember very clearly. It could be something that triggered you. It could be a situation, whether a personal situation or at work, with a person, with a place, with a habit, whatever it is. Take yourself to one recent memory. And again, observe your breath, observe your emotions, allow any thoughts to come up to the surface, and observe your body. If it is feeling tense, notice any tension and allow it to be released every time you exhale. And keep that memory in mind. Whatever it is for you, keep that memory in mind. And we're going to do a little bit of role play when it comes to our mind. So with your memories in place, I'd like you to think about how you would approach that same memory and the same situation and experience again if you were through your negative mind, or maybe you were in your negative mind. How would it be different? And what lessons would you learn from that negative mind? What parts of your shadow would start showing up, or what parts of your shadow did show up? And keep breathing deeply. Remember, this is just an exercise, so if anything comes up, allow it to come up and remind yourself that we're just doing an observation exercise. So just allow it to surface and remind yourself that you're just observing. You're not going to get too caught up with it, or the energy is not going to come up again in the same way. And then we'll switch the roles. And I want you to imagine that that same memory, that same experience happened, but you were in a positive mindset. So all the qualities of the positive mind, where you're looking for pleasure, where you're looking for fulfillment, where you're looking to expand your knowledge in some way, or you're looking to be more positive in that situation. If you approached it in that mindset, what would you have learned? Or maybe you did approach it with that mindset. And what did you learn? What qualities came up within you? And continue breathing in deeply, connecting to those thoughts. And when you're ready, we're going to take it to a personal level, a neutral personal level. Now that we've seen how we might have approached it through the negative mind or the positive mind, weighing both of those sides up and connecting to both of those energies, would you have done something differently at that time through that experience? If you had to approach this experience again, would you do something different? Would you approach it in a different way? Would you be more in your negative or more in your positive mindset? Or maybe now that you've observed both, you're able to connect with that neutral space within you. Take a moment to see what thoughts come up. And if you don't have any specific thoughts, that's okay as well. Keep breathing deeply. Keep connecting to your thoughts and your mind. And one last reflection question is related to this present time in your life. If you are making any choices or any decisions regarding your life, regarding any aspects of your life, which mindset are you more likely to go through when it comes to making decisions? Maybe you can see which mind you're connecting to more. So think about where you are in your life right now. If you are making any choices, any decisions, how are you approaching it? Are you approaching it through the negative mind, through the critical mind? Is it triggering any of the shadow self aspects? Or are you connecting more with a positive mind? Are you feeling very positive about this new changes? Are you feeling more connected to the fulfillment and the joy? Which mindset are you working on? And again, weigh them out with your neutral mind. Whatever it is you're choosing to move forward in, how can you make your decision right now? Or maybe not right now, but in the near future, where you can work with both sides of your mind and bring it into the neutral space. Keep breathing deeply. Keep connecting to your breath. And take a moment to open your eyes, get present in the room that you're in. And whatever came up for you, I want you to spend at least 15 minutes writing it down in your journal. So starting from where you are right now in your life, today, this moment in time, are you more neutral? Are you more negative or positive minded? And then exploring a recent memory in the last couple of months or the last couple of weeks, something that happened that you remember clearly, whether you went through it through the negative, the positive, or the neutral mind. And then for the last reflection, which was making decisions. If you had to make a decision right now, or if you find yourself in a place where you're making decisions, what parts of yourself can approach it through the negative mind? What parts of yourself can approach it through the positive mind? And how can you weigh up both of the thoughts in order to make those decisions? So as you can see, this is quite an advanced, I think, meditation in many ways, because most of the time we do have to repeat these meditations and reflections and make it part of our daily practice. And once we start going through our day asking ourselves during random moments, whether we're going through our negative, our positive, or our neutral, we start to see patterns within ourselves. We start to see how we function, how our mind functions, and also if it really does support us, or maybe we want to start being more on the critical side, or maybe we need to find more joy in the positive mind. This is a beautiful daily practice, and I invite you today, throughout the rest of today, to see which mind you're using more. As you go through your daily routines, as you go through the usual things that happen in life, ask yourself, am I connecting more with my negative, my positive, or my neutral? So hopefully this inspired you in some way. As I mentioned, take this moment right now to write everything out. There will be more information in the blog post connected to this video, so feel free to have a look there. And I will be back with another video very soon. So have a beautiful day, allow your mind to play, and take care of yourselves. Sat Nam.